So, this past weekend was Blizzcon, and we actually got some news across pretty much everything except for StarCraft. I don't think. I don't know. I didn't watch anything involving StarCraft. Uh, but everything else, we got something out of it. Of course, with WoW, we learned more about 8.1. I mean, we pretty much knew everything about 8.1, but we then learned about 8.5, or 8.15, sorry, and then 8.2, and 8.25. So some of the things that were coming out with that. They did finally announce that we will be in 8.2 be going to Nazjatar, and we will be we'll be facing off against Queen Jara. They also announced that we will be going to a gnome, like a God, what was it called? It's a gnome place, mecha gnome place. It seemed actually kind of interesting, and it will be part outdoor world, part what they're now calling epic dungeons, I believe. That's what they said. Basically like Karazhan, where it's a very long dungeon. I'm not really a fan of those. Like, they only have them for Mythic at first, and you know they'll eventually, like, you know, probably split into two, like they did with Karazhan. But I'm not really a fan of like Mythic only versions of stuff, and then later doing Heroic. I feel like it's just content that I don't care about. Like I want content that I can queue up for. You know, that I can do when I get, if there's a quest that I have to do to go in there, I want to be able to queue up, have the option to queue up for it. Yes, it's nice to be able to have a, you know, a pre-made group. It probably will run smoother than, you know, doing LFG, but I'd rather just, you know, queue up and not have to wait hours trying to find a group to do, you know, do something for a quest that they may or may not be on. Yeah, I don't like those things, but it's coming, and like I said, eventually it will be Heroic too, so I guess I'll eventually do a lot of requests needed for that eventually. We also learned a little bit more about WoW Classic, when it's actually going to be available, and the pricing structure for it. It will be available summer 2019, so we just have to wait until summer. Well, I say we, but I really mean the people that actually want it. And it will just be part of the regular subscription. So if you're already paying for WoW, then you already will, you know, be able to download and play WoW Classic. They also said they will be staging content for it. So when it releases, it will have Molten Core and I think it's Molten Core and Onyxia as raids, and then as people start clearing that content and they feel like people are ready to go on to the next bit of stuff, then they'll release, you know, the next raid until they get to Nexramas. They said they will be repeating the opening of Encourage as well. So that's actually kind of interesting. That actually might be a fun thing. Almost makes me want to play it just to like experience that and see that firsthand, because I wasn't playing then. Almost. But yeah, that will all be happening over the summer / fall of next year. Hearthstone got a new expansion. Well, we'll be getting a new expansion, the last one for this current year for it. It is Rusticon's Rumble. It is basically a troll expansion. So everyone who's wanted a troll expansion for Hearthstone, here you go. You'll be getting it. They're adding the two new things that I noticed were Spirit Ammo cards and Spirit Ammos or Spirit Loas or something like that cards. And Overkill. It's kind of the thing I saw that lets you repeat attacks if you've done more damage than what was required to do so. It looked pretty fun. I'll probably buy a bunch of packs when it first comes out. So, yay. Then Diablo is getting a mobile game, which I'm actually excited for. Looks really fun. It looks basically Diablo on mobile. They didn't say a whole lot about it, other than it takes place between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, story-wise. And the people I know that did play the demo there, it actually played pretty well and felt like Diablo on a phone, which is awesome, and I can't wait. So we have Overwatch news as well. They showed a McCree cinematic, which was really cool. I like that a lot. And in the cinematic, they showed 2 new heroes. Possibly 3, you could maybe say. They showed a robot. I can't remember what her name was. Well, part robot. She looked more like AI manifestation type. It was kind of weird, but she's not the new hero. They showed another person, the leader of the Deadlock gang, Ash. She is going to be the new hero. And the reason why I say 3 possibly is her ultimate is basically another hero called Bob, who is an Omnic, or well, he's a you can basically say he's like Bastion. He's a lot like Bastion. Basically, you have a Bastion ultimate. And it's really interesting and cool, and I kind of like. She seems interesting. I can't wait for her to be on PTR so I can play around with it. We also have Heroes of the Storm news. We have a new hero that's coming. Her name is Orphea, and she is actually someone from the Nexus itself. It's not from any other Blizzard games. She's the first one to be, to be actually part of Heroes of the Storm that's all naturally from the game. She's an ranged assassin, I believe. Her kit looks pretty cool. I feel like they maybe could have announced like maybe a second hero that it was actually from another game. Kind of, I don't know, I feel like the whole story, you know, inserting a storyline into Heroes of the Storm, it's just kind of gets away from the actual point of the game. That's just like a mix of everything together, kind of like Smash Brothers, like a mobile version of Smash Brothers. I mean, there's no real story for Smash Brothers. It's just all these games from all of Nintendo's, you know, IPs together, and some from outside of it, but for the most part, all of Nintendo's IPs together, you know, just fighting it out. While also, that's kind of what Heroes of the Storm is too, except, you know, in a mobile setting instead of a fighting game setting. Whatever. She looks cool. I have nothing against the character itself. I just wish it was, you know, I just wish they weren't doing this whole story thing and trying to shoehorn something that doesn't need to be there. Warcraft Reforged. We kind of knew we were getting something like this. Back in, like, I think it was February, all of a sudden there was an update to Warcraft 3, and then since then we pretty much had a feeling we were getting a remastered Warcraft 3. Just like, pretty much the same thing happened with StarCraft. And that's what's happening with Warcraft 3. We're getting Warcraft 3 Reforged. It looks beautiful, I gotta say. Though I don't think they're promising that we'll play like the old one, like old Warcraft 3, but updates are being made to it. I think they said they're adjusting some of the lore to go along with like how they've adjusted it over time too. So yeah, it looks really cool. Might pick it up. They're doing a more expensive like version of it that gives you different stuff for, you know, other games. I think there's like a battle pet for WoW. There's some things for Heroes and things for, you know, Diablo and all that stuff. It looks pretty good. That's it really for this video. I'll probably be doing separate videos on each kind of thing over the next couple of weeks to go in more detail. But let me know in the comments below what news or what was announced at Blizzcon that you're excited about. Let me know, and until next time, bye.